Welcome, everybody, to the Saltcast IRL Tuesday afternoon live stream. Thank you all for being here. We are toasted, dude.
Wow.
Okay, so listen. So we're all wearing merch, right? We got a giant swag bag from Shady Mile. We've got like 7 bottles of booze from Shady Mile. These guys hooked us up. So to start this podcast,
they even got a shirt on.
I know. I'm wearing somebody else's merch. So I broke my own rule.
You broke your rule.
They gave us a shirt that was big enough to fit Vader.
Yeah.
Wow. Drapery size.
Damn.
Damn.
So first, before we really get into our topics for today, I just wanted to give a friendly drunken shout out to Shady Mile. Go to caskers.com and grab some of their stuff. It's worth it. Dude, the Ambush Canyon Texas vodka is my favorite one. I know I'm not supposed to talk about this on YouTube, but fine, whatever.
Texas vodka
is what it is.
Well, they're not paying us. We're just stating our opinion.
They're not paying us. They just sent us a lot of stuff.
I think that's code for moonshine.
It absolutely is. Code for moonshine.
Wild. It's the best shit. It really is.
But yeah, I am significantly toasted. And Vader has been significantly toasted for a while.
I've been happy drunk for like the last 2 hours.
Happy drunk is good.
It's super fun.
Happy drunk
Especially
is good.
after the last week you had.
Oh my God. I've been in so much pain.
Oh yeah, because you're old. Yeah, being old sucks, man. I've heard that. I've heard that.
Old. Don't get old.
Don't get old, folks.
No, just end it.
What, die young?
End it at 40. 40's the peak.
Die young,
just
folks.
Go out.
That's the message. That's the message today is die young.
Oh my God.
All right, let's see. We got Broba Fett in the house. We're live. Yay. Yes, we are.
Yeah, sorry we started a little bit late today.
Yeah, we had a lot of stuff to do today.
We got a new member of the podcast has a new work schedule, and so like we're trying to figure out how to fit everything in.
A new member of the first member?
The OG member of the podcast has a new schedule, and we're trying to work out the kinks a little bit. So as many of you know, I quit my job working at the mine, and I now have a job in town, which is a little bit more flexible with its hours.
Except we got to start later.
We have to start a little bit later on Tuesdays, but that's okay. Because I'm here more often during the week, which is great. So first of all, the ability for me to be able to do that is greatly in part to our YouTube members and also our Patreon people. So if you would like to support me in my dream of doing this kind of stuff full time and having more flexibility in my schedule, go to the members content here on YouTube. You guys get exclusive access to very specific podcasts that are only for YouTube members. And if you would like to also join Patreon, that's a different type of exclusive podcast. So we do two different content for the 2 different members. So we have member content, we have Patreon content.
But we may have to push the live stream back from 1:30 to 2 o'clock going forward.
I think I'd be okay.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
I want to say I'm very happy for you that you've got this new gig.
Because
now you don't have to strip Mother Gaia, our Earth Mother, of her
mother. What was that hippie crap you just said?
Of her natural resources to be able to put lithium batteries into all our bullshit.
Listen, man,
modern conveniences.
Having my facial hair back, it turned gray. I've got gray.
You got a couple gray speckles.
I do.
Well, you know the funniest part about all this. So like Alex had a very grueling schedule with the mine. And he had to commute a very long way to get there.
Mm-hmm.
But ever since he quit and shifted over to spending more time at the studio, more time with the podcast, and with his new job, Ashley feels like he's just at her beck and call.
Oh no,
whenever she wants.
We're going to talk about her wife.
She's like, can you do this for me?
No.
And Alex is like, I still have a job.
Stop.
No, I'm just saying this from my perspective.
Yeah,
it's like.
He's literally got less time now.
Yeah, he's got more to do.
That's also true.
Because Jude does the same thing to me, right? Where we're like, because we have this startup thing. She's just like, oh, can you do this? I'm like, I'm working right now. I can't afford to do that.
Look at you going after the wife.
I know.
That's crazy.
What am I supposed to do? Agree with you? What are you nuts? No, of course not. No, it's an adjustment, for sure. But the ability for me to have more time to spend here at the podcast and here at the studio with Kadish, I'm balancing that with an actual like day-to-day job, and then on top of that, family stuff. It's
you gotta
a
get
lot.
you gotta get your routine reoriented.
Yes, and I also have to wrap my head around the idea that I'm not a clock in, clock out employee anymore.
Yeah, that's kind of nice. Right?
I'm just kind of working all the time.
Yeah,
I work for various people throughout the day. That's what I do. I work for my wife part of the day. Then I work for Tom part of the day. Then I come here and work for Cage part of the day. And then I work for myself and I get to do these fine things with the studio at the live stream. So that enough about me. Enough about that stuff.
What are we going to talk about?
We're going to talk about.
We've had a hell of a day.
We've had a lot.
Started a little late because of your new schedule, but it's okay. I got to get used to that too. It's like I had to call my wife today. It's like, hey, going forward, we're going to start a little later. So I'm going to be home a little later now going forward. So. Yeah, like we need to adjust things by an hour. It's fine.
So you work for your stunt cock.
He's not wrong.
He's not wrong.
That is
I absolutely do.
Kind of.
Yes.
Yeah.
My stunt cock offered me a job, and I was like, you know what?
You slapped his ass and got in there.
I'm gonna take you up on that.
That shit right up.
Yeah, I do. Me and Tom work together. So if you're familiar with our podcast, you'll know that every once in a while, Conspiracy Tom, comes on the show to cover for one of us if we're absent. He had an opening that I took.
Hopefully he'll be here next weekend with you guys.
Yeah, I don't know how that's going to work.
I'm not sure what's both
here. Who's going to be working?
Oh, well, hey.
Well, that never stopped Tom before.
I know. I don't know.
I don't know what you guys are going to do. I don't really care.
Weird.
I am not going to be here next weekend.
Okay. Anyway, so without further ado, to make good on our thumbnail, we're going to talk about Extraction 2.
We are. How are we going to do that?
We're just going to talk about it.
He hasn't seen it.
It's fine. It's an action movie.
Like, we need to talk about this movie, but I don't want you to spoil it for me.
What I would like to do is talk about the state of action stars, because basically the idea here is that, there's this new wave of action movies that are replacing like the old guard, like Schwarzenegger, Stallone, all these guys. And like when you think about action stars, and you think about the 80s action stars, Schwarzenegger, one of the biggest movie stars of all time, Sylvester Stallone, Jean-Claude Van Damme, to a certain extent, what do you call him? Steven Seagal, and then you could probably lump Will Smith in there at a certain point.
So, so all those guys you just said, those are 80s and 90s action stars. We're in 2020s now. What was that?
That was my boot.
But so like there's this new era of action movies coming out,
right? Yeah.
But
in the 2010s,
it was like Vin Diesel, The Rock.
In 2000 in that era, like what, 10 years ago or so, 2010 to 2013, 14, 15, whatever.
Kind of lame.
All they had was Expendables, right? It was all just the old 80s stars coming back.
Old guys.
Yeah, the old 80s stars coming back. You had Scott Eastwood in there, sure, I guess.
Who?
Scott Eastwood. Clint Eastwood's son.
Yeah, no,
he's in movies sometimes.
Okay. Well, he's in movies.
So, like, who do you say are like the current big action stars? So, you obviously got Chris Hemsworth.
Chris Hemsworth, The Rock.
The Rock. Would you consider Chris Evans to be in that?
No, because he's only Captain America. He's not.
Yeah.
I mean, he was in The Gray Man, but that movie wasn't that great.
Well, he was also in Ghosted recently.
When's his Commando movie coming out?
Yeah, he's not like a lone warrior like the old 80s movies.
No, not at all.
Like Chris Hemsworth in Extraction and Extraction 2
when's his Cyborg movie coming out?
He doesn't fit the bill.
No.
He really, I mean, he's a good action actor.
He's an actor,
but he doesn't
some action.
But he doesn't lead his own franchise as far as like an action franchise goes. So like he's in the Avengers, he's Captain America.
So like back in the 80s.
Would you say like Jason Statham?
Chris Pratt? Jason Statham doesn't lead movies. He's a side character.
No, like he leads tons of movies.
Like the Transporters?
He was just in the Meg too.
Oh, the Meg doesn't count.
Listen, those are a whole bunch of bullshit.
Crank might count.
Listen, man, back in the 80s, you had these actors who you could guarantee a certain amount of box office just by putting their name putting their name on the poster. And that's Stallone, that's Schwarzenegger, Van Damme, Seagal. These guys all had a guaranteed type of box office that the studios could bank on just by putting their name on the poster. And I don't know.
You know what's interesting about that?
There's really not a lot of those guys that are out there like that.
Tom Cruise fits that bill, but he's like a leftover from the 80s and 90s.
Because he's 90 years old.
You can't lump him in with like modern day action stars because he's still from that.
He's like
that 80s era.
Yeah. He's from the 80s.
But someone like Batista
maybe, but he's not. I'm not seeing him star in any kind of headlining movie. He's always a side character. Like he was in Blade Runner 2049, but he was a side character. Yeah, he was in James Bond.
Short part of time.
Yeah, he was in James Bond, but as a bad guy, he's like a henchman. He's basically the Jaws of what was it, Spectre? I think.
Would you consider Jason Momoa an action star?
Yes,
I would. I would like to see him in more things though. He's headlining. So he was in that movie. What was that movie on? Was it Netflix or something that was called like Jersey Girl or not Jersey Girl? What was it called? Something Baby Girl or whatever.
Something.
But he really wasn't in that movie.
But he doesn't have that pull that
not quite
that they need yet.
Quite. He could.
He's kind of been.
What about John Cena?
He's getting there. He's working on it.
Yeah, I would say John Cena's working on it, but he's not there yet. You know, they need their signature characters series. They need a Rambo. They need a Total Recall or something.
Liam Neeson he's a leftover of the 80s as well. Like even his movies, like the Taken franchise, those are all cool action movies, but he's not. I wouldn't count him as a modern action star because he's left over from like a bygone era.
It's like when I think of Stallone, I immediately think Rambo.
Right. What about Schwarzenegger?
Schwarzenegger, I think Terminator.
Predator.
I think Predator. I think
Commando.
But you know, Schwarzenegger, I just think Schwarzenegger.
Running Man.
I don't have to have
Bruce Willis was another one, right?
Yeah, Bruce Willis is another one.
Another good one.
But he's not doing movies anymore. He retired.
What about Keanu Reeves? Would you consider him an action star? I mean, he's been in some of the biggest action movies of the past.
I would consider him an action star, but sure. He's on the tail end
of
his career.
But Keanu is just Keanu. It's like here's the thing.
Well,
with the 80s and the 90s action stars, all you got to do is have their last name on the poster.
Mm-hmm.
Keanu,
and people will show up.
Schwarzenegger, Stallone. You know, these guys sell tickets.
Yeah,
they sell tickets on their name brand alone. I don't think there's a guy like that now.
Hemsworth
is almost there.
But
here's the frustrating thing about Hemsworth. He's semi-retired now.
Is he?
He's got some issues. He's got some medical issues.
He's got some health issues
that he's like taking a break.
Wait. Are these the health issues that he discovered while filming his Limitless thing?
Yes.
Really?
And he's like, we're these movies that are coming out with him in it.
Yeah.
Are the tail end of his
what that bums me out.
He wants to go raise his kids.
Oh, fair enough.
He wants, and that's fine.
Fine, yeah.
But if he was to keep going, he could absolutely be next super action star.
What about Henry Cavill? I know we haven't seen him.
Well,
absolutely
he needs to do something.
Yeah, he could easily step into that role with the right, like maybe what do you think 2 movies would be enough to solidify him?
I mean, like if his Warhammer movie comes to fruition, like that could be the thing that
and the problem that Hemsworth has, and it's like the chat is saying, these movies that he's an awesome action star in, these aren't theatrical movies.
All streaming
they're being released on streaming services, which is bad. You know, these extraction movies,
should not be streaming.
These are theatrical release movies.
Yeah,
they should absolutely be seen in the theater. 100% before they've ever gone.
I completely agree with you, dude. I was watching this movie and I'm like, why is this not on a freaking 50?
Why am I watching this on a 35-inch TV when it should be on a 60?
Maybe next time we rent out a theater for a Salty Nerd.
Oh, maybe we can.
Can you imagine Extraction 2 on a big screen, like an IMAX or something like that? It would be insane.
Yeah, we definitely need to do that.
Because those action scenes deserve to be on a big screen like that.
Because you know, just a quick review of Extraction. This Extraction 2, it's a great movie.
It's fantastic.
I had more fun watching this movie than I've had watching any action movie in a very long time.
I want to make
this thing starts from the very beginning.
Oh, immediately.
It immediately picks up from the last movie.
And it doesn't have any plot, not that many plot holes.
Doesn't need a lot of plot points.
It's a little bit of a stretch because somebody mentioned in the comments before, didn't he die in the last movie? Yes, technically. He got shot in the neck or something like that. He fell off a bridge.
Well, yeah, they retconned that.
Yeah, they retcon it. They do like a montage of him getting rescued and healed.
Montage.
Which I'd rather them. And then they did a workout montage in this movie too.
Dude,
so they
has
has
movie with a montage. I'm in.
Yeah,
Let's go.
A workout montage
That's straight out from an 80s movie.
with music.
Absolutely.
I'm in. Give me more.
Listen, man.
Yeah.
This movie has montages. It has evil dudes that you like really dislike. It's like
they're basically Russians, but they're not really
you know,
Russians.
they're whatever.
They're from like
They're-
Georgia
they're
or
like,
something like that.
Eastern
The
European,
country Georgia,
Eastern
not-
European
yeah.
asshole fucks.
It'd be funny if they really were from Georgia, America, Georgia.
You know,
America.
they talk
They would
like
be
this.
they would be Catholics. They would be like evangelical, whatever they
You
call
know,
Catholic people.
they're little white guys and they talk like this.
Yeah,
and they have
yeah.
shaved heads and lots of tattoos.
And beards and big beards. Yeah,
You know,
they're
evil-
Russians.
Yeah, they might as well be.
They might as well
Russians.
be Russians.
You know, dirty communist fucks. You know, but yeah, you know, they're bad guys. They're bad guys.
Nick shows up in the chat, and that's the first thing he hears. What's up, Nick? How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, what's up,
big
buddy?
time Patreon, big time supporter of the channel. Welcome, sir.
But yeah, you know, that's the thing that's nice about this movie. You know who the bad guys are.
Yeah.
You know who the good guys are.
Right.
It's not a
So-
it's not a complicated plot. You know,
I want to
So-
I want to say something about this movie, and I tweeted this out the other day, but I only have like 100 followers, so it doesn't really matter what I tweet. But I want to say this to the people who are watching. There's like up to 50 people. That's great. That's
Yeah.
awesome. 45, 50 people. That's
That's good.
fantastic.
That's
Welcome
good.
everybody. This was because I watched it on Sunday, which was Father's Day.
yeah.
This was the best Father's Day movie ever.
Wow.
It was freaking awesome.
Okay.
Like as a dad sitting down watching an action movie, it gave me everything I wanted, and at the end, it had a extremely powerful message about the importance of fathers
Yeah, fathers
to
and
their
family.
sons and to
Yeah.
their families, and that literally brought me to tears. I
Yeah.
teared up at the end of this movie. Like I was like freaking hoorahing,
Mhm.
yeah,
You
blowing
pulled
up
a Dork Knight.
blowing up blowing up helicopters and freaking shooting machine guns, and it was like the classic 80s Arnold freaking
Yeah.
you know, doing the whole deal with the montage and the workouts and all this stuff. Like it was all there, and then at the end they were like, hey, by the way, you're a dad. And I was like,
Spoiler.
I just
Jesus.
freaking he's the dad. He was the dad in the first
It's
movie.
not a spoiler.
No, it's not a spoiler. He was a dad in the first movie. They explained his backstory then too, but like it just
Like,
hit really hard.
We're trying to do this with be non-spoiler
God,
as possible.
Kadish was a loser and couldn't watch the
because
show.
Matt hasn't seen it yet.
I gotta say though, like the first Extraction, because I remember we did that for the podcast. That movie was freaking amazing too.
It was.
Which
It was
one?
great.
The
the
first
first one.
Extraction.
Oh, the first one was great. Yeah.
And you know, in this modern era, I remember growing up in the 80s and 90s, and Vader was right. Like there were action stars whose just name alone could open a movie.
Sold tickets.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly.
Chris
It's like,
Pratt's
and-
one
oh,
of
a
them,
new
I think.
Schwarzenegger movie. Shit, I'm in. Let's go.
Yeah,
For-
and I don't think that we've gotten a new generation of
No,
that
we have not.
just yet.
I think streaming service has neutered that a little bit, but I there's a couple of people in the chat saying Chris Pratt, and I do agree with that. If I see Chris Pratt attached
Yeah.
to an action
Yeah, yeah.
movie, I'm gonna go watch it.
Sure.
100%. Terminalist was cool.
Mhm.
I know it's a TV show, so it didn't quite fit the bill, but if Chris Pratt was
Was that the
dude,
one he made for Prime or whatever?
Yes.
Say that again.
good movie
That
or
needed
good
to
show.
be shown in theaters.
Also, John Krasinski doing the Jack Ryan.
Oh,
series.
he's being great as Jack Ryan. He
Yeah.
definitely could
Is-
fit the bill if you wanted to.
Is Prime robbing us of the new modern action star?
Yeah.
I mean streaming services.
Yeah.
Is that what's going on?
I don't think so, because they're basically the modern day equivalent of the video store, right? And most of like the 80s and 90s
Yeah, but-
action stars came up through home video.
But here's the thing,
Hmm.
though. All those movies that we rented on VHS and on DVD at the video store, we went into the theaters and watched first.
Not all of them.
Many of them. But,
No,
you
like
know,
I never watched a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie in the theater until like I got into college.
I'm not disagreeing with you. What I'm saying is there are certain levels of movies,
Mhm.
and Extraction 2 is absolutely one of them, that should have gotten a theatrical release
Yeah.
before it got shown on streaming. This is a AAA movie. This is a absolute movie that could have. I bet this movie would have made $500 million
So,
in the theater.
I was going to ask.
guarantee it.
I don't-
100% believe that.
I don't exactly know how like Netflix's business relationships are with theaters. Like if Netflix were, because they've released movies in theaters
Yes.
before.
Movies they want Oscars for.
Right. Yeah. But why that? Like, why not release an action
don't
movie?
know.
Because they could make, let's just say,
It's not part of their business model.
yeah, but let's just speculate. Like, okay, so they cost, how much do you think this movie cost them to make?
No idea.
$200 million?
I'd
No.
say probably $200
$200 million?
Really? You think that high?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I don't
This
think
is
it's
huge.
that.
This is a lot of action.
So why would you release that on
Right.
on stream?
Why wouldn't you get
Because
your
that's their business model.
Yeah, but why
I
wouldn't
just-
you get that money back immediately in the theater for like a month or two and get $200 million
Yeah, exactly.
in the box office
Exactly.
and then say, hey, you want to watch this? Join our subscription
Listen,
plan
man,
on Netflix.
there is a 20-minute 20-minute long uncut action scene in
Oh,
this
it's
movie.
one cut.
It is
okay.
It is. I mean, it's not.
To be
it's-
it's
I mean,
clever editing, but it's
it's
one shot.
But it looks like it's one shot.
Yeah, from
And
probably
it is the most. It's from like about 10, 15, about
20
minutes in to about the
to
40
about
minute
45
mark.
minutes.
Yeah,
in,
yeah. And it is the most incredible thing
It's
I've ever seen in an
yeah,
action
it's
movie.
literally okay. So the title of the movie is Extraction.
Yeah.
Literally the extraction section of the
Right.
movie where they're getting these people out of point A and getting them out. That whole stretch.
It is
one scene.
insane.
We got a $5 super chat from
Oh, there
Astro
we go.
Nerd Boy. What's up, dude? Thank you for the support. Modern actors seem to try to avoid being known as X. Schwarzenegger, Stallone were known as action stars and nothing else. I don't think there's anything wrong with
not
that,
at all.
though.
Well, you know, Stallone didn't start off as an action
No.
star. You know, like he got his
He's Rocky
Oscar
action.
nomination from Rocky and
Yeah.
stuff like that, and then he transitioned
Right.
to action because that's where the money was. Like after Rambo, the first Rambo is not like really an action movie.
It's
It's,
No.
it's
No,
I
it's
mean,
a drama.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's
agree.
a drama. And then like when First Blood Part 2 comes around, it becomes more actiony. And then by Rambo 3, it's like
It's full blown action. Oh, and then Rambo 4 was freaking amazing.
yeah,
Oh,
and
my
then they ruined
God.
it with 5.
Oh, and then 5 was
Yeah.
trash.
but you know, we get movies out there. Yeah, and thanks for that $5, Astro.
Yeah,
I
thank you,
appreciate
Astro.
that. There's movies out there that they make for theaters, like the
Fast
Fast and
10.
Furious,
That's all
whatever.
theater stuff. Yeah, yeah.
You know, this movie is better than Fast 10.
100%. Oh my
Okay.
God, it's so much better.
And
Dude, I
the
watched
fact-
Fast.
I almost feel annoyed and pissed off that I cannot go spend $15 or whatever on a movie ticket and go see this movie in a theater on a giant DFX
Yeah.
surround sound
Oh, it'd be
screen.
so amazing.
It would be so good.
amazing. Because
Instead, I gotta watch it at home on my 55-inch bullshit TV, which is nice. I'm not saying it's not nice, but it's not a theater experience.
it's different.
I
Yeah,
want
it's
to see
different.
this in the theater.
Yeah.
With-
I love-
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I
It's
know
just-
100%. I get it because it's funny because I like the Fast and the Furious franchise, but it's almost
They're-
like on a
they're-
joke.
Look, they're dog
Like
shit.
I like it,
Dog shit,
but in a
movies.
jokey way.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'll go spend $15, go see Fast 10, but I'm not expecting a good movie.
Watching this 20-minute long
Single
scene,
cut. Yeah.
it's a work of art. It's an absolute work of art.
I have to
how
call
they
out
did this.
Dustin Hoggle where he's
Rambo 5 was amazing. What
I have-
movie
yeah,
did
I-
you
yeah,
watch?
haven't
What
seen it.
Rambo did you see?
Is that the one? Is that the
that was
newest
a
one?
step down from 4.
Oh, yeah.
Is that
for
the one
sure.
where he's at home?
Yeah.
I haven't seen.
Yeah,
I
he's got the
haven't- I haven't
ranch.
seen it
He's
yet.
got the ranch,
I
and,
do
and
plan
he
on
goes
watching
after his like
It
niece or
doesn't
something.
even feel like a Rambo movie.
I mean,
Yeah.
it feels like a Rambo movie. It's just, it was very boiled down. Like it was like I don't know. It was just a lesser Rambo.
But I guess in the end, I want to see these AAA action movies that these people are making. I see it. that I want to see them get a proper theatrical release because these are good movies, and Extraction 2 is like peak.
Yeah.
It absolutely deserved to be seen properly in
Yeah,
the theater.
I agree.
On a giant screen with the sound and everything. And they're doing themselves a disservice by not releasing it in that way.
I agree. Real quick, $2 super chat. Team America was the best action movie of all time.
Durka.
Matt Damon. It was a good movie
Yeah.
for sure. Good movie.
Dicks, pussies, and ass.
That's the best sex scene
The
ever
Film
filmed.
Actors Guild.
I had to go like after the puppets like
Oh
bone,
God, yeah, they boned.
I had to go like jerk it. I mean, it was so hot. It was just like there was like fluids everywhere.
Jesus Christ.
It was great. It's like,
And it's also got the best
Oh,
montage
God.
song
yeah,
ever written.
montage. It's a montage.
Dustin
Yeah,
says
it's
Extraction 2 was great. I felt like the first one was better.
Well,
that's,
you know,
that's interesting.
That's okay.
'Cause do you think there's
It's very hard for a sequel to outdo the original.
yeah,
Yeah.
do you think there's any hint of sequelitis in this movie?
No, not
None at all?
No,
Not the retconning his
actually,
death.
I posted that I like this movie better,
Really?
but I will admit that I have not watched the first one in a while. Maybe if I watched them back to back, I might
Mhm.
think different. But right now, I remember I feel like I like this one more
Okay.
than the first one. And I don't know why.
I appreciate the fact that they realized that this was a franchise worth banking on,
Absolutely.
and they left the ending.
They absolutely did.
They were like, "Hey,
give me 3.
We're gonna make more.
Give me 3."
This is also, it's a Russo brothers production.
Yeah.
And the Russos have had varying degrees of success with their original movies on Netflix.
Did they do The Gray Man?
They did.
I
do
did
The Gray
not
Man.
like The Gray Man, and I know that's a Russo's thing.
It was a shitty movie.
Yeah, it was not good, not great.
I think they've stumbled on something here that scratches that 80s and 90s action star movie that I'm into, man.
Yeah.
And it's good.
The real secret to Extraction success is the director of these two movies.
Thank you. I was just going to say,
yeah, he was a former stunt coordinator guy, and he's the one who basically orchestrates all these action scenes. Remember, we had an interview with the second unit director for C,
James Madigan. Yeah.
And he gave us some real insight into how, like, he plans out like these really elaborate action scenes and stuff like that. And that's what this guy does. But instead of being the second unit director, he's the actual director.
Right.
And so like the brilliance of the first 2 Extractions, it's all down to him. Like the Russos don't really have much to do. Like they're the producers of it, but it's this guy. And I wish I could remember his name, but it's this guy who's like really the driving force behind how awesome these movies are.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. His unique style of showing action is what sets this movie apart from most other action movies nowadays.
Like most action movies, they go with like the quick cuts type thing. There's that meme from Taken 3, where there's like 800 cuts of like Liam Neeson like jumping over a chain link fence, But with this movie, like the guy, he coordinates the action so well that he allows you, and it's very John Woo in this respect, he allows you to actually like comprehend what's happening, and take in the beauty of like the violence that's going on screen.
The director of Extraction 2 is Sam Hargrave.
Yeah. I believe he was the director of the first one.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, Extraction and Extraction 2. Sam Hargrave.
And he's one of those guys. Like if you watch some of the behind the scenes on Extraction 1, like he's sitting in a chair that's attached to like a car that's like driving next to the other.
Nuts. Like the things he might as well be part of the stunt, because he's got this camera strapped to his chest. It's like jumping out of helicopters and stuff. It's crazy.
One of the things that I appreciated about this movie is I felt like it stayed true to the original.
You mean the first one?
The first one. Is that what I said? The original.
Well, the original to me sounds like you're talking about a movie that came out like 4 years ago, a remake.
So it felt like a proper sequel.
Okay,
to
that's better. Yeah,
to the first Extraction.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like it's like it knows where it comes from. Whereas movies like Wick 4, for example,
didn't feel like a John Wick.
It didn't feel like a
ripoff.
It felt like they jumped the shark.
Yeah,
it felt like a parody of a John Wick.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Whereas this movie, I see it as a sequel to their first Extraction movie, whereas Wick 4 feels like it was completely made by somebody else.
Well, I will say, because I want to bring up Dustin, because he's very active in the chat. Thank you, Dustin. Welcome to the channel. If you're brand new here, please subscribe. You're very active, and I love your chats. You're going nuts over that. It's great. He did mention something about realism. So there is a point in the train sequence, which is one of the best sequences in the movie. Where I feel like
bit much.
It's, if you were going to criticize this movie for anything, God mode was unlocked for that sequence.
Absolutely.
He gets okay. So there's a sequence in the trailer, I think. So I don't think this is a spoiler, but in the trailer you see the prison riot fight scene. There's a scene in that scene where he gets hit in the back of the head. And I think they show that in the trailer as well.
They do.
And he gets freaking smacked in the back of the head.
Smoked.
And then like 10 seconds later, he's on like rampage mode.
They even go into like slow-mo blurry.
Yeah, he's all and like the ringing in his ears, and he's like, "Oh,
listen, you're in a video game."
100%.
You're 100% in the video game. It's like,
you do Alt Control Escape. You bring down the chat, and you type in God mode, and then you unlock it. And then you go, all right, let's finish this level.
Right.
And that's what happens.
That's exactly what happens.
100%. If you're saying that that's unrealistic, I'm not disagreeing with you.
But here's the thing.
I don't care.
I don't care.
I had so much fun.
I don't need it to be realistic.
I didn't care.
He's like, but you know what else is weird? Is I can't even think of Hemsworth's character's name. What's his name?
I don't know.
What's his name in the movie?
It's Hemsworth.
It's Hemsworth. It doesn't matter.
Do they tell him his name?
I don't know. Does he have a name? Does this character have a name?
Doesn't
in the movie?
matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't
he has
matter.
to have a name.
He's just fucking badass extraction guy. And that's all I care
It'd be
about.
funny if his name was John Extraction.
but here's the other thing that I love about these movies. It's like everybody talks about, you know, the Oscars and their bullshit quotas and their how many brown peoples and whatever's people are all over this. This movie makes it covers all of those things, but this movie also feels like it's 100% genuine and organic the way it covers everything that
they're globetrotting.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is a movie.
So you're talking about his like
this is
his handler.
This is a diverse movie.
Oh yeah.
Without the movie feeling diverse.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not preachy.
It's not preachy. At all. It just is
his
what
handler.
it is.
His handler is
they're Indian
or something like that. Yeah.
Not feather.
Oh, that's goddamn it, dude. Why would you have to say that?
Not computer.
Not computer.
Both of you, shut up.
Just to annoy you. And
no, like computer, not casino.
But I didn't.
Stream has been taken down. Don't shout out. They're gonna be like, don't do it.
But
God damn it, guys!
I didn't feel like the diversity
Was
and
this-
bullshit was being crammed down your throat.
No,
and
not
I
at
didn't
all.
care.
No.
These characters were cool when stuff happened.
Tyler Rake. Tyler Rake.
Tyler. Okay, yeah. Okay. Whatever.
Yeah.
Tyler Rake. Cool. That's his name. I didn't feel like that was
Because it wasn't.
purpose of the movie.
No, not at all.
It was
like,
just,
hey,
we got these actors,
like,
we got these people. They're multicultural and
they're
just
badass.
is what it is, and they're badasses.
Yeah,
and it was fun,
dude.
And I
okay,
enjoyed
so
it.
here's another thing too. So we complain often on this channel about like the chick wick flicks, where like Atomic Blonde
I didn't have
and Gunpowder Milkshake and stuff like that, where they have these
movies.
women just like destroying 250-pound dudes for no reason.
I mean, yeah,
There's a scene in this
it's
movie.
a little bit of a stretch.
There's a scene. No, I disagree with you. There's a scene in this movie where the Chris Hemsworth, his handler, can't remember her name.
The girl.
The girl Nick or something like that. I think
know.
her name is Nikki or something.
She's cool. She's badass.
She's
I like
badass,
her.
right?
Yeah.
And she has a fight scene in this movie on the train. And I was watching it, and I was being very like aware of what's happening on the screen right now. Could this be happening?
Yeah.
She
pulled it off.
She pulled it off because she got wrecked.
Yeah.
Like she went up against like 3 dudes, and they did not hold back on her.
Nope.
And she got out by the skin of her teeth. She still won, which great, awesome, badass chick on screen. Awesome. I love it. But she did it like almost not making it. And you're like, oh, okay, that makes sense because she's going up against 3 dudes who are like 200 pounds.
It's very video game.
No, I disagree. It wasn't a video game. It was very like, oh, okay, so she's more skilled than they are, and that's how she survived. That's what I took away from it.
Yeah.
So I have no complaints about this as far as like the modern day action movie.
It's like it felt a little video gamey to me. But the thing is
with
cool,
the helicopter.
the thing is cool about this movie is that regardless of the video game action, I didn't care. I bought it. I bought into it. And you know, your heroes of the of the movie
are
supposed to be that
dude.
way.
Even the
cool.
somewhat femme dude that he was like Chris Hemsworth's friend. Remember
which guy?
The dude with the shirt. Remember the shirt? He's like, oh, I bought you this goofy like leather printed shirt.
No, that was her brother.
Yeah, her brother.
I forget his name.
I don't remember his name either.
But
he's a little bit femme.
I was upset when things happened to him that I can't spoil. But you know,
he was a meaningful character.
He was a meaningful character,
and I thought it was really cool.
And I bought into his character. I bought into her character, and I liked what they did, and I had no problem with any of it.
Let me ask you guys this. So I haven't seen either of what I'm about to ask you about. So like, how would you compare Extraction to basically Arnold's foray into Netflix, Fubar?
I haven't seen Fubar yet, so I can't answer that question.
I stopped watching Fubar.
Yeah, I've heard Fubar is not good.
I watched about 40 minutes of it, and I was like, I think I'm good.
I did, however, watch the new Arnold documentary.
Oh, that looks good.
I watched half of it.
That looks good.
It's pretty good.
Yeah,
but I have not watched Fubar yet.
Nothing is a better Arnold documentary than Pumping Iron, though.
No, agreed.
Yeah,
that movie's great.
This is a great movie. This thing's like a remake of Pumping Iron.
It seems like it. Yeah, Netflix was like, hey, we have Arnold, so let's like. I guess he signed a contract with him or something.
I just find it interesting that you have arguably the biggest action star on the face of the earth, Arnold Schwarzenegger, doing a Netflix original series, which is basically a remake of True Lies. going up against a movie like Extraction 2,
Yeah.
and Fubar falling flat on its face. Like I haven't heard any buzz since
I can't comment.
so
I can't
so
comment
bad.
on it.
It was corny, and like one of this chat just brought up, I think it was super woke. It was like everything Netflix has done wrong for the past 10 years wrapped in an Arnold movie.
Netflix is weird.
It's very strange.
It's like they're either super woke or super not. And that's like, what are you doing?
Whatever.
It's like,
yeah. It was
fucking fence sitters. It's like, come on, man. Pick. Are you gonna go woke? Or are you gonna go broke? Which one are you gonna do? Let me pick a lane.
Fubar,
but
I'll say this without getting demonetized on Netflix. Fubar was very check the box.
Yeah.
And it was very corny. And I love Arnold. He's one of the, if not the greatest action hero of our age, but he's like pushing it now.
Yeah.
And to see him in an action role just kind of jumps the shark for me at this point.
It's got a little flabby.
How dare you, sir? How dare you say that?
But you compare that to the moves that that Stallone has made lately, like with Tulsa King and like stuff like that.
Well, Stallone's still on the juice.
Yeah, but you know what? Even in Tulsa King, it's not. It's more of a dramatic role.
Yeah,
it's not an action role.
But what I'm talking about is that basically Stallone chose to do his TV series in a way that suited him.
Yeah.
Whereas Schwarzenegger seems to be
still trying to recapture his former glory.
Exactly.
Stallone at 80 or whatever the fuck he is, he takes his shirt off. He still looks like he's 30.
It's called human growth hormone.
He's like still got abs.
Human growth hormone. He's 79 years old.
Ridiculous.
He doesn't have abs.
It's ridiculous.
He has injection sites.
It's amazing.
Dude, the best scene in Tulsa King is like right after he hooks up with this girl from a bar, and she finds out how old he is. And she instantly gets sick because she's like, I thought you were like mid-50s. And even
he's like 78 years old.
I need to watch that.
She's like, it's like I just fucked my grandfather.
he's got a reality show that I kind of want to watch.
Oh, with his daughters?
With his daughters.
Oh, God, his daughters are freaking smoke shows, dude.
Have you ever watched their podcast?
No, but I kind of want to now.
I can just say
they are pretty attractive.
I got really good daughters, you know.
What's it like growing up famous? And I'm just like staring at it like I can't look at Sylvester Stallone's daughters. He might show up in my bedroom and kill me in the middle of the night.
It's weird. It's fucking weird.
It's
really weird.
But yeah, Fubar was not good. I didn't even finish it. I got to a point where I was like,
get in?
Like 40 minutes, I think.
In the first episode, you stopped?
No, it's not an episode. It's a movie.
Oh, I thought it was a series.
No, it's like a 2-hour movie.
Shows you how much I know. Really?
Oh, I thought it was a series too.
Am I wrong?
I think you're wrong. I think it's like 10 episodes.
Yeah, I think it's a TV show.
Oh, I didn't even make it through that. I didn't even make it through the first episode.
Oh my God, that's terrible.
Oh no! Hold on, let me check. I'm gonna open up my Netflix right now and check Fubar.
It's a series.
I'm pretty sure it's a series. Yeah,
it's a series.
See, look, it's still on my previously watched list somewhere buried deep. Here it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Chat saying it's a series.
Episode 1.
Yeah.
How many episodes are there?
It's probably 10.
8. There's 8 episodes. I made it.
First episode.
Let me check how far into the first episode I made it. Hold on, let me see. Let me see what this pops up. 22 minutes. I made it 22 minutes in the first episode. I was like, nah.
Apparently, according to Dustin Hogel, the chat has been renewed for a second season.
Of course, it has been.
That's cool.
Because they paid for Arnold and they're going to use Arnold.
That's all right.
So I want to talk to you guys a little bit about like the Netflix strategy here, because like they've done $200 million movies before. Most notably, so they did 6 Underground with Ryan Reynolds and Michael Bay.
Good movie.
That's a trash movie.
It's a great movie.
That movie was terrible.
Awesome movie.
They did.
If you haven't watched it, go watch it right now.
They did Red Notice again with Ryan Reynolds, but with The Rock and Gal Gadot.
Not as bad,
not as good,
but not as good.
Not as good.
Yeah, but that was like a very expensive movie, which actually worked out really well for them. So like they're known for doing these like big budget movies that aren't basically being released in theaters. So to them, the retention rate and the watch hours and stuff like that, that's what they're going for. And so they're investing in content that's going to get people to sign up for the service and stay with the service. I feel like Extraction is like one of those like Stranger Things type things where like if you're a fan of that franchise,
you show up.
You're going to stick around for the next one.
Listen,
for sure.
I'm telling you, Extraction is a top tier movie that should have been released in the theater.
I agree.
I agree.
It
It absolutely is. I mean, If I was gonna give it a star rating, I'd give it like 4 stars.
But Netflix is like the modern day video store, right? They're no longer
Essentially.
blockbusters. You have to subscribe to Netflix or Amazon, like whatever. And so the question becomes, is it worth subscribing to Netflix to watch stuff like this?
I think it is.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Listen. Okay.
So
if you're in the mindset of like, hey, I don't want to subscribe for a service that I'm only going to use once a year or once every couple of years, I would say if you're going to subscribe for a month and get how much is it now? $14.99 or something? It's like $15.
It's the price of a movie ticket a month.
$15 for 1 month.
Do they still do the first month free or whatever?
I have no idea. What they're counting on people doing is signing up for a month and forgetting to cancel it. That's what they're hoping people do. But honestly,
enjoying the service enough where they want to continue.
Yeah, but I don't think they have enough recurring content for them to do that.
I disagree. I think between this stuff like Extraction. And I mean, there's good stuff on.
I have it
because they have a lot of really cool foreign stuff.
Yes,
there's a lot of.
This is true. Netflix has some dope ass freaking South Korean movies.
There's some good, really good series stuff on there. A
lot of good documentaries.
A lot of good
documentaries.
A lot of good.
I mean, in the heyday of Netflix, it had stuff like The Office and Friends and like all that stuff that they were able to license from other studios.
Do you know I'm not gonna sit here and shill for any streaming service.
No,
but Netflix has got some stuff. I mean, and they got some shitty stuff on there, and they got some woke as fuck stuff on there too.
They had Norseman.
Norseman is a Netflix show. That's a fantastic show.
Yeah, but we're also talking about the company that put Cuties out.
Yeah, this is true.
It's rough.
It's a weird thing, man.
Where do you draw your line?
I don't know.
Yeah, the live action version of Cowboy Bebop.
Awful.
It's weird.
I couldn't watch it.
So weird. So I think Nick said earlier in the chat that he's like, I think Netflix's thing is like the directors they hire, they're either woke or they're not.
Man,
they'll hire a director. Are you toasted?
I'm blasted.
If you want to do a Shady Mile turnout real quick.
I can't. I keep forgetting there's a chat going on, and I got 2 screens right in front of me.
There's a new season of Black Mirror out that I'm currently going through.
I've never watched it.
I really like Black Mirror. Black Mirror's cool.
I watched an episode where a dude had to fuck a pig or some shit.
Yeah.
And I said, I can't watch the show.
That was a dark real dark episode.
That
was not the right episode.
I was like, what am I doing?
That was a dark episode.
I can't watch this show.
Yes.
I'm not going to
Black Mirror is all about satire, and that was a very darkly
episode. It was a message about politicians doing whatever they need to do to
I need to
gain
ask
the
this
crowd.
Question because I'm quickly going into some weird Twilight Zone.
Shady Mile. Are you taking a walk down the Shady Mile?
I'm taking a walk down the Shady Mile. What? I know Matt hasn't watched it, so this isn't for him. But I'll go to you. Then I'm gonna go to me.
Yeah.
What would you give a star rating for Extraction 2? Because this movie deserves to be in a theater.
Oh, absolutely. I agree. Extraction 2, I think it has just a hint of sequelitis with some of the scenes.
Really?
Yeah, with some of the scenes that are God mode, like we talked about. Pure God mode. Like there is no death. Like you turn 100%. You turn death off for 15 minutes.
Don't worry about it.
Fine, whatever.
Video game.
But then later that catches up with him and he gets injured and yada yada yada. So he's not completely immortal. But
I mean, the first 20 minutes of this are him recovering from the first movie.
Yeah, and then the next 20 minutes is him being on God mode.
Yeah.
And then the 20 minutes after that.
We literally have a Rocky 4.
Yes, it's a Rocky 4. Yeah, it is. He's in the woods chopping trees down. And I'm like,
he's
running to work out.
He's running in the snow. He's like, I get to the gym. He's chopping fucking wood.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a Rocky 4 workout montage. 4 stars.
Okay.
4 stars. It's a freaking awesome movie. And I cried at the end.
I did.
Like manly tears. Manly, I'm a dad tears. Yeah.
Man tears. Is there such a thing?
Like Kevin Smith?
Fucking man tears.
No, not like Kevin Smith. The exact opposite. Like, yes. Yeah. I am a father and this means something. Yeah. No, it's a good movie. 4 stars.
You know what? If you go to my what's that movie site?
Letterboxd.
If you go to Letterboxd, 4 stars.
He looks at you. What's that movie site that I write things on?
4 fucking stars.
Because I've been on it for years.
Yeah.
I don't use Letterboxd.
It's
I don't write my
that's how
thoughts
I know
down.
when he does it ahead of time.
That's what I have this video camera for, is to write my thoughts down for me.
It is a 4-star movie.
It's a great movie.
It is a fantastic movie.
Fubar is terrible.
Fuck Fubar.
What would have made it a 5-star movie?
I don't know.
A little bit more realistic.
Maybe a little more realism. I don't know. I don't know. You know me and my 5 stars.
Yeah, they're rough.
It's like I don't know if I want to watch this movie again tomorrow, but I don't care. But if it was on, I'd watch it. That's the difference. If a 5-star movie for me is something I see, and immediately when I see it, I push stop on the remote and I watch the rest of it.
I don't mean to derail you, but this comment is from Broa. The way Alex said, "Yeah," when
man, tears, yes. But yeah, absolutely 4-star movie. And if you haven't, what the fuck am I watching? What am I missing? I'm missing something.
The way Alex said, yeah, when Vader said he saw someone bang a pig made me weird face.
Weird face. Banging a pig. Don't fuck pigs.
I was just like, yeah, fuck that pig. Yeah.
That's gross. Don't fuck pigs.
Why did I do that?
Pigs are weird. That's very strange.
So I want to pivot just a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, pivot.
So I've been getting a lot of messages from content creators on YouTube, friends of ours, stuff like that. And they're all making videos about how I've been justified by the fact that Mangold lied about Indiana Jones and that Indiana Jones is going to fail. And somehow that justifies my initial tweet that set off this whole thing years ago.
You are the Mangold Slayer.
You prophesied the future, sir.
You did.
Yeah. You were like, this movie's gonna suck.
I was about this before Doomcock even stepped foot in the ring.
Yeah.
Just pointing that out.
Is this the wheat or the rye?
I don't know.
But I just wanted to kind of talk about this for a second.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I'm actually kind of sad because I want good Indiana Jones. And everything we're hearing about this is that Mangold lied about all the reshoots and about all the story problems and the issues that they had making this movie. And yeah, it's nice to be right, which I usually am. But at the same time, I feel like it's a situation where we all lose.
Yeah, it is 100%. Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah, I none of us here at this table, and Jude's not here, but including Jude, none of us here wanted this movie to be bad.
No.
We all want the movie to be good. We all love Indiana Jones. We want Harrison Ford to go out. He went out really great with The Last Crusade, run off into the sunset.
Which was the very last Indiana Jones movie
last
perfect ever made.
The perfect ending to the last Indy movie. Right there. Done.
This is the last movie.
Sell it.
It's the last Indy movie.
Perfect. Nobody when we hear, there's new Indy movie, and we're like, isn't he 79?
Yeah, really?
What are we doing
New
with
Indy
this?
movie?
And we're like,
well, a new indie movie that's supposed to wrap up the franchise that doesn't bring back any of the original cast except for one person.
Sala?
Sala. Yeah, exactly.
I heard he's in it for
Carrie,
30 seconds.
is it Carrie Allen? Right?
Who?
Karen Allen.
Karen Allen's not even in it,
No.
which is bummer because
they didn't get Short Round. They didn't get
what
Steven
a
Spielberg's wife.
How could you?
What
fuck
a
that up?
missed opportunity
Really?
They didn't even bring back Mutt.
Yeah, but nobody likes Shia LaBeouf. But they could have
yeah.
recast him. But what I'm saying with Short Round, and listen, I'm on record. I'm not even a huge fan of Temple of Doom. I see your super chat there, the Gord King, which is a great name. I'll get to you in just 1 second. I'm not a huge fan of Temple of Doom. It's my least favorite of the original 3 movies. But Short Round is for sure a classic characters that needs. What are you doing? That needs to be back.
I'm cutting your heart out.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Kalima.
Can you imagine if they would have had the not foresight, but just the dumb luck of casting Short Round back for this indie movie, and then Everything Everywhere All at Once comes out around the same time, and the buzz off of that goes directly into Indy 5.
It would have been amazing.
Would have been $1 billion movie.
People
are like, Short Round's in that freaking dope freaking kung fu movie, Everything Everywhere All at Once. Let's go see him back in Indy 5. That's going to be fantastic. I would have been sold on that. But they didn't.
No.
They didn't even call him.
No.
They were like, we don't need him. We're going to get that
They
chick.
built so much of this Indy 5 movie around Phoebe Waller-Bridge.
And
I don't know why people keep trying to make her a thing.
Why? Why do they keep
because
trying
they
to make
like her TV show Flea. What's up? Mangold Tears, $2 from the Gord King. Thank you, sir. Mangold Tears. Indeed, he's probably crying in his closet right now.
On his huge pile of money.
Yeah.
I mean, this is even if Indy 5 flops, this is not going to hurt Mangold's
No,
career.
he's fine.
Wait, no,
He's fine.
you think? You really think that?
Well, he's got a Swamp Thing and a Star Wars movie lined up.
I don't.
So.
I think the worst thing James Mangold ever did was get
Team up
involved
with Lucasfilm.
with Disney.
Yeah, I agree because he makes banger movies.
If you're
Logan's
listen,
awesome.
if
Ford
you-
versus
if
Ferrari is
you're-
awesome.
If you're a really good director,
You don't need to team up
don't
with
sign
him.
a contract
No.
with anything touching Disney.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Especially taken over from like arguably one of the greatest directors of all time, Steven
Yeah.
Spielberg.
Mhm.
Like Indiana Jones was Steven Spielberg's baby. And the
Yeah.
fact that he stepped down from directing a fifth one tells you so much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And I would not want to try to fill those shoes. It's no wonder Mangold
I
had
feel like
such, like
He's stressing out about
yeah.
it. He was drinking himself to sleep
I
at night.
feel like all these old guys are just like I mean, I don't even know the words I want to say right now, but you got Spielberg and Lucas and these dudes and the composer whose name I can never
John
remember.
Williams.
John Williams.
John, why can I not remember his name?
Wait,
I don't
John
know. He's just
Williams-
the most famous
I
composer
can
ever.
yeah, the most famous. I can't remember his name.
Wait,
on
he
Saturday.
didn't compose the.
No, he did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right,
I
all
just can't remember his name.
right. I was stressing out.
You
for
know,
a
you got these guys and they keep coming back. They must be just throwing the money at them, right? Just
Mhm.
to come out and make appearances. I feel like they just, I don't know.
They lost it. They lost their drive to make these types of
Right.
movies. And obviously, Harrison Ford is just. I mean, I know he loves Indiana Jones as a character. It's his favorite character he's ever played.
We all love Indiana Jones.
Yeah. But I mean, like Harrison Ford famously doesn't care about Han Solo.
Right,
Right, but they backed up a
famously doesn't
truckload of
care about
money.
A lot of his characters.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Indy's like the one thing he really cared about.
Yeah.
It was also the one character that he actually had a say in. So like there used to be this rule that Spielberg, Lucas, and Ford all had to agree
Yeah.
on the story for an Indiana Jones movie in order for it to go forward. And I think that somewhere along the way that just went out the window, probably after the fourth one.
Oh, Mangold did Walk the Line too.
Yeah.
Thank you,
I mean,
Gord King.
go-
Thank
yeah,
you.
go
I
ahead.
didn't know that. Walk the Line is one of my favorite movies too.
310 to
310 to
Yuma
Yuma
as
is
well.
awesome,
Ford versus Ferrari.
dude.
Great movie.
He doesn't need Disney. I don't know why
No.
he signed this contract.
He doesn't need Disney.
He doesn't need
That's
it.
the thing. These directors don't
Well,
need Disney.
here's the thing. I think he was under contract at Fox when Disney acquired them. And so like he still had a deal with Fox that got folded into Disney. And when they offered him Indiana Jones, he was like, yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
Can I? I'm gonna pivot just a little bit. I want to ask Matt a question.
Go ahead.
So, in our circle, you have gained a reputation now due to that one single tweet
One tweet.
2 years ago. you have become known as the Mangold Slayer. I've heard this on multiple different streams, on pretty popular channels. How does that make you feel? I mean, how you predicted this 2 years ago. You got the channel monetized by making James Mangold of all people spurg out because you were just being honest.
It's just a truth bomb.
You're just throwing a truth bomb out there.
Yeah.
Are you okay with this? That you are the dude that like kind of foretold this as being that this movie is gonna be what it is. I mean, tell us. Give me your. I want to know how you feel about this whole thing.
Well, I'm not surprised about how Indiana Jones 5 turned out. Because like I said in that initial tweet, there were 4 things I pointed out, one of which was not correct.
Mm-hmm.
But the 3 major ones were Steven Spielberg
Right.
wasn't directing it. It's the first Indiana Jones movie ever not to be directed by Steven Spielberg. Kathleen Kennedy was producing it, not as a line producer, but
Mhm.
as a creative producer. And Harrison Ford is 79
Mm-hmm.
or 78 at the time I did the tweet.
Right.
And I remember watching the movie that shall not be named and thinking Harrison Ford looked really old in
He
that.
looked old in that movie.
And
He
he
was,
was,
60, he was like 63.
yeah, he was
or
like
something, right?
65 or something
Yeah.
like that. And even then I was like, this is stretching credibility with me. So just off of those 3 factors, I knew that Indiana Jones 5 was probably not going to be very good. And that makes me sad.
It makes me sad.
Yeah, because Indiana Jones is one of my all-time favorite film
Mine as well.
franchises. I grew up watching it. I grew up studying it. It
Mhm.
was one of those things where like I worshipped at the altar of Spielberg because
Right.
of those movies. I wasn't a big fan of E.T., but Indiana Jones, hell yes, like that. Those
Yeah,
were my
but
movies.
even E.T. had its thing.
Yeah, I'm not
You
saying
know.
E.T. wasn't a bad movie or wasn't a good movie. I'm just saying that like for me, I never watched E.T. more than like maybe once or
Right.
twice. I watch Indiana Jones almost yearly. You know,
I've seen it.
Yeah, it's a repeat viewing for sure.
I've seen it probably at least 100 times.
And it captures the spirit of 80s blockbuster filmmaking, where it was like fun, adventurous, non-political.
Right.
It was something that you could just sit down and watch, turn your brain off, and just enjoy, no matter how many times you watch those movies, even the ones that aren't, you know, as enjoyable, like Temple of Doom. You can still watch those and be like, yeah, these are fun. This is from an era where movies were fun.
Right.
And I feel like under Kathleen Kennedy's stewardship and, you know, stuff like that, Lucasfilm movies aren't fun anymore.
Right.
They're political. They're about the message. And, you know, when people like message me and they're like, dude, you were right. You were right. You're right. I was like, yeah, I know I was right. I knew I was right when I put out the tweet, but it makes me sad that I was right. Like I wish that Hollywood would wake up and understand that there's a certain way that you make movies that are timeless and classic and subservient to an audience, where you give an audience something special. What it sounds like what happened with Indiana Jones 5 is that it started off woke. They realized it was a mistake. They had to go back and reshoot it, and they turned it into a slaction film, a film where like it doesn't pay homage to the legacy of Indiana Jones. It doesn't do anything new or interesting or fun. It's just there. And, you know, James Mangold, I did not know who he was until he responded to my tweet. And this idea of me being a Mangold slayer because I spurred him out for over the course of 12 hours.
That was pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie.
Like that came from Andre at Midnight's Edge, where he just dubbed me the Mangold slayer. I did not set out to embarrass him.
You didn't even know he was directing it at the time.
Exactly. I didn't even know who he was.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen all of his movies, but like I never thought that he was such a interesting director that like I took the time to actually like learn his name. You know, like those movies, 3:10 to Yuma, I thought was okay. Never saw Ford versus Ferrari. Logan, I thought was decent. But for the most part, like Kate and Leopold was another one of his movies.
I like that movie too.
I remember watching behind the scenes on that, and what they caught with Mangold on the behind the scenes, it was like an HBO featurette, like a long time ago when the movie was first coming out. He was being such a jackass on set. I couldn't believe that they actually put that in the documentary. But like there was a scene where this meter maid's trying to give Leopold a ticket for like walking his dog without picking up the poop or something, and she kept like messing it up, like like she flubbed the ticket and it would fall out of her hand or whatever. And they'd cut to Mangold, and he'd just be like sitting there like, what the fuck, man? Like he was obviously annoyed and pissed off. And so like when he came after me and I found out who he was, I was like, oh, well, it's no wonder he's an egomaniac who's pissed off. But I never set out to trigger him. I never presented myself as like a news source or a reporter, or like anyone who had any kind of insight. You know, like it was just me on my couch making an observation, because at the time, behind the scenes photos had gotten released on Indiana Jones 5, and Twitter was going off its rails.
They were going ape shit.
Yeah,
there's no denying.
Yeah,
that.
to see Harrison Ford back in the Indy suit and stuff like that. There's all this speculation going on. I was like, guys, slow your roll. Right? Here's why you shouldn't be excited about this. And for whatever reason, that resonated with the director and writer of the film. And he felt that it was his responsibility for 12 straight hours to come after, not after just me, but all of us on the Salty Nerd podcast.
Yeah.
And that got us on so many people's channels. Like news stories were written about it, where my tweet was featured. And it was I never tagged him in it. I never tried to make a big deal out of this. It was just something that came off the cuff. So so like he embarrassed himself. So in a sense, James Mangold is the Mangold Slayer himself.
Let me ask this question. And I've kind of seen there's different videos going around out there in our YouTube world.
Hold on, real quick, Danny. So he says you had a blue check when it mattered.
He did.
I did not have a blue check at that time, though.
Oh, you didn't?
No, that was pre-blue check.
That's interesting.
There's a lot of chatter going on out there, and there's a lot of videos going on out there in our world that says Mangold is he's a little bit nervous right now. He's a little bit worried because I feel like, we can't deny that Mangold is a good movie maker. He's made good movies.
I like a lot of his movies.
There's a lot of his movies that are really good. There's talk out there that this movie is going to ruin his career. I mean, how do we feel about it? Are we gonna want to go watch Mangold movies after Indiana Jones? After he destroys Indiana Jones, are we gonna want to go watch a Mangold movie?
Mangold has never been an above the fold director. Like his name has been.
He's not Steven Spielberg.
No,
exactly. Like people don't market his movies based off a James Mangold film.
No.
You know, like he's always backseat to like the premise of his film.
Yeah, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, I mean that's how most directors do it.
Yeah.
But James Mangold has never been like his visual style is very generic. Like you can't watch a James Mangold movie and be like, yeah, that's a Mangold maneuver.
It's the stories that I attach. Like when I think about like Ford versus Ferrari, I loved that story and I loved how it was put together and the actors and all that stuff. I never was like, oh, I wonder who directed that. Like that never crossed my mind.
I mean, me personally, I'm probably gonna go watch Indiana Jones 5 only because
we're gonna talk about
it. But just give me a second. At the same time, I know this movie's. I already know this movie. I already know what's gonna happen. It's been spoiled.
Do you feel
okay?
Has it?
It has.
I haven't.
It's like I know the first 20 minutes are cool, and the rest of the movie is a bunch of Phoebe Waller-Bridge bullshit.
Oh, okay. Don't tell me that.
That's what I know.
I was trying to go in without.
Okay, well you don't need. Well, sorry. But to me, James Mangold is now on that same shelf as that asshole.
Like a Ryan Johnson.
It's a Ryan Johnson.
Ooh.
That's where I was going.
Ooh.
James Mangold and Ryan Johnson, to me, in my head, are on the same shelf. And I don't know if I really.
Is it because they attack the fans?
Probably.
Okay.
It's like I don't care if I ever see another James Mangold movie again. Just like I don't care. I'm never gonna watch another Ryan Johnson movie.
That's true.
Again,
that's true.
It's like
I don't even watch the Knives Out movies.
If I see Ryan Johnson attached to something,
I'm not gonna watch it.
It's like I'm like, fuck you.
Yeah.
I'm not watching you. But and the only reason I'm gonna go watch Indy 5 is because the words Indiana Jones are on the title, and I'm going to be, and I know earlier today, me and Matt said we had a really short conversation about I don't like to go into movies spoiled without I don't want to be predisposed into a thought pattern before I go into a movie, and I can't not go into Indiana Jones 5 now without knowing that fucking asshole went after us because he thought we were doing a podcast out of a basement and then we were a bunch of dipshits. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
It's like
we are a bunch of dipshits.
Well, that's true. We are dipshits. But
dipshits from Chicago.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to like grade or review this movie without a biased opinion. And it sucks. I don't want to be that guy, but I kind of am. I am at that point. And to me, Mangold and Ryan Johnson are the same dude. You know, and it sucks. It sucks.
So to answer Vader's question, if Indiana Jones 5 does flop, and I don't think it's going to flop huge like The Flash did. I think it's probably going to be like a minor disappointment. I don't feel like it's going to end Mangold's career. I don't even think it's going to affect it because number one, Lucasfilm has already committed to doing a Star Wars movie with him. I know that some people don't think that means anything.
The 25,000 years before the Force.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's basically a biblical epic with Force powers. Sounds stupid to me, but but he's also lined up at DC with Swamp Thing, and so he's got at least two new avenues open to him to redeem his box office.
But that first avenue is still attaching his trailer to LucasArts or Lucasfilm.
I think the difference here is that with Lucasfilm, like with his the first Jedi movie that he's going to be doing, he has pretty much free reign to set the stage for the first Force users, and so like he's not beholden to anything,
and that's
really
fine.
But it gives him a lot more leeway to tell like I feel like he was a wrong fit for Indiana Jones because he's not a very optimistic filmmaker. Like he's kind of like a little bit cynical. Very much like Ryan Johnson is in terms of his storytelling.
You don't think that if this movie, if the Indy 5 movie just gets demolished, in the box office.
It's going to happen.
That Lucasfilm isn't going to be like, hey, you know that Star Wars movie we told you about? Let's just
it's not his fault.
Just the fact that it's an Indiana Jones movies means that there's a certain level that it's not going to fall below at.
Yeah, I mean, people are going to show up because it has the name on the marquee.
I mean,
but
I'm not to defend James Mangold, but James Mangold isn't making a James Mangold movie here. He's making a Lucasfilm movie. He's making an Indiana.
You think
Jones
he can pass
movie.
off some of the blame onto?
I do.
I just directed. I just directed.
Yeah,
I didn't write it.
I think there's going to be part of that.
Sure, maybe.
You know,
I think any director worth their salt should probably not attach themselves to Lucasfilm.
Well, we've heard a lot of inside baseball stuff about how toxic the environment is over at Lucasfilm, mostly thanks to Kathleen Kennedy, and how most directors of note, talented directors, don't want to work over there because of the basically the chaos that ensues whenever you
why
work
would you
on a Lucasfilm project. So basically they end up going with directors that they can control, who aren't very, don't have a lot of power. And we've seen the type of stuff we get from that. And it's not good.
You get these directors. I feel like, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like the directors that are coming up, that are going to be coming out of Lucasfilm in the next decade or so, are going to be these people that have been directing episodes of like The Mandalorian or Ahsoka.
Sure. Yeah.
Or that kind of people that have been brought up in house that are used to working with Kathleen and her system and the Lucasfilm way.
This is just how it's done around here. I can hear that. Yeah.
And
you don't have that much say over it. You're essentially just an episode director for a TV show.
Right. You're basically
like, hey, the story's written, the characters are here, the actors already know what they're doing. Just point the camera and go.
Exactly.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're breeding their own
Ron Howard's
directors.
daughter. What's her name?
Bryce Howard.
Bryce Dallas Howard.
Yeah.
The worst thing she ever did was probably get involved with Lucasfilm.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she's almost like a legacy from her father.
Here's the big mistake that Kathleen Kennedy made very early on under her tenure at Lucasfilm, which was that they hired young, kind of up and coming directors that they couldn't control, right? And so then when that didn't work out, they start hiring unknown directors that they could control. When the marquee of the franchises that Lucasfilm had, Star Wars, Indiana Jones, Willow, things like that, they require well-known marquee directors. They needed people like James Mangold early on to come in and shepherd the new Star Wars trilogy. Someone who understands story, who could basically plot out stuff, who understood characterization, who understood the audience that they're making this stuff for.
Right.
They should have really brought in the top tier of the top tier in Hollywood to do these movies. Instead, they went fly by night, young, inexperienced, kind of like overrated.
Well, my theory on that was Kathleen Kennedy was trying to find the next Spielberg and Lucas. She grew up in the shadow of those guys, watching them come in 70s cinema, being the young and crazy ones. What's up, Jude? Being the young and crazy guys with cameras, just doing things off the whim, which according to that book that I read after your recommendation was like a big no-no for the studios back in the day. They're like, oh, these freaking young kids don't know what they're doing. They're not following the studio recommendations. That's Kennedy's upbringing. She's like, oh, I got to find the next guy like that, the guy who's doing things different, the guy who's doing things not right.
And she tried to do that initially, because if you look at the original slate of directors for the Star Wars movie, so you had Josh Trank, who was going to do the Boba Fett movie. You had Lord and Miller, who were going to do
the solo movies.
You had Ryan Johnson and J.J. Abrams and all these guys who are like the next generation of Hollywood directors, right? And so she was bringing them in to get the next generation going, get their perspective, get their young energy.
Which honestly is not a bad idea. No. She just really made some bad picks.
The problem really is that when you have all these very talented filmmakers who have their own vision of stuff, there's no cohesion there. So they have all these different ways of working. What they really needed was one director, one producer who oversaw all these films.
And that's why the world was better when George Lucas was in charge of.
Yeah, but
Star
then George
Wars.
Lucas made the
I'm not saying it was
movie.
good. I was absolutely
George Lucas is a good idea guy.
Listen,
he's a good idea guy.
George Lucas gave us maybe chlorines. Okay.
Here's what I'm
It's
going to say
like,
about George Lucas.
Fuck midi
If you guys
chlorines.
ever watched the documentary on the making of the Phantom Menace,
Yeah.
you'll know that the downfall of any great artist, whether it be Spielberg or Lucas or whoever, is that people stop telling them that their ideas suck.
Yep.
They stop challenging
Become
them
a
to
bunch
be
of yes
better.
men.
Yep.
Yeah. So like when Gary Kurtz was the producer of Star Wars and he was there to challenge Lucas's bad ideas, Star Wars was better because Lucas had to come up with better ideas. When people like that went away, when you had Rick McCallum come in as producer, and he was basically just Lucas's yes man, is like everything George does is brilliant.
What's that scene? Everything is so dense. The scene is so dense. Remember that scene from the freaking?
Yeah. So like when you get someone like him in there, and no one's there to challenge Lucas, like you know, with Indiana Jones 4. Yes, I'm going to mention it. With Indiana Jones 4,
about that.
You know, Spielberg used to sit there and argue with Lucas about stuff, but with Indiana Jones 4, he was like, you know, I'm just tired of arguing. I'm just going to give George what he wants. And so even Spielberg just gave up with telling Lucas no.
Oh, because Lucas like threatened to pull the funding from the movie.
Yeah.
If they didn't get what he wanted. I mean, listen, nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. What I think the moral of the story is they should have had one cohesive storyline, one person to kind of mastermind the whole Star Wars thing.
Yeah.
Probably a different person to mastermind the Indiana Jones thing. Obviously, they have these IPs. They're going to use them.
I think at a certain level, like you know, people who are shot callers and stuff like that, they almost need like a panel of rivals, like someone there that they know is going to push back on them, that they know is going to tell them. That
I want you to read the super chat, Kadish, because this is for you.
JT Late Night with Cap for $2. They should have hired Kadish. I don't think they could afford me.
Hey,
but yeah, I agree.
I want to just really quick. I want to acknowledge that we have 61 people watching this.
That's fantastic.
Live stream, and that's
awesome.
Really amazing.
That's awesome.
I want all of you guys to please, for the love of God,
beg a little harder.
Hit that thumbs up button. Hit that thumbs up button because you know we're on YouTube and that thumbs up button thing.
It matters.
It does. It matters. It's really important.
No, I do
and
really.
And I'm not done talking yet. Jesus Christ.
Sorry, it's the vodka.
And if you haven't hit that join button for the
members
membership,
there you go.
Think about it. Think about joining us because we have a lot of really cool stuff.
And okay, so we're gonna wrap this up because we have some other things that we want to do for our Patreon. So go to saltandairyclub.com. You guys get exclusive access there.
We're ending already.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap this up.
We're only going an hour.
I know. It's a short stream today because we have a lot of stuff
we have to plug the gaming channel.
That's what we're going to do next before we leave.
Oh, okay.
We're going to plug the gaming channel. So Vader, you had the mastermind. You were like,
I'm not the mastermind.
You were like, I want a game.
I want to play games.
I want a game because I don't like movies that much.
Movies are stupid.
Movies are dumb. I want to play video games. So you were like, hey, I'm going to start a video game channel. I was like, hey man, I'll help you out as much as I can. So let's plug it. So hold on. WG.
Wow.
WG for
WG.
50. Can you say 50 for me?
50.
Great round table, gents. Thanks. Thank you, sir.
Yes, that's going towards the fridge fund.
Yeah,
the fridge
fund. For sure.
Oh
yeah. Every super chat that we get, guys, genuinely, it does help us out immensely. I cannot tell you how much without going into like super personal details.
Paying Salty's electric bill.
You kind of are. You kind of are. I did to be able to do these kind of things more often and to help these guys out on Saturdays. I took a lower paying job, so I'm using the podcast funds to kind of like bridge the gap. So yes, your super chats go a long way. They are not just for us to get drunk. We do that for free now.
Yeah,
literally feeding his children.
You really are.
We got this company called Shady Mile. They just send us booze.
Not to be too much of a blowhard. Yeah, not to be too much of a freaking self promoter. But yes, you are paying my bills right now by helping out. So WG, thank you so much, and everybody else who super chatted today. Thank you guys greatly. Video game channel.
Yeah,
it's your brainchild, so pitch it.
It's my thing.
You wanted to do it, and I was like, I'll do it with you.
I hate movies. Movies are boring. Movies are like, it's like this is you guys' thing. This is like Mr. Film School guy over here.
Yeah.
It's like I talk about movies because you know it's what we do. It's what we do on the Salting Your podcast. But my passion is video games. I love playing video games. I used to steal money from my parents to go play video games when I was a child. You know, I go to the pizza
like the quarter slot machine.
Like
my mom
used to own a store I would like be that little shady, shitty kid that would go in there and go blink on the kill and go and like steal like a roll of quarters and like I go over there and, you know.
Your mom's books were just a mess.
Oh, they were a mess because I steal at least $50 a month
Jesus
in quarters because I was a piece of shit. And you know, this is a true story, absolute true story. And I go a clink and the till drawer would go ka-chunk. It would come out. And I go, yeah, I steal like a $50 bill.
Wow.
$50 or no.
Wow.
Like, what's a roller quart? $10.
Yeah.
$10 in quarters.
Sure. I don't
and
know.
That would give me.
Do they even make quarters anymore?
That would last me for like a week. And I'd go over to the pizza parlor and I would go,
play
Mario
arcade games.
Brothers,
Okay.
Tron, you know, video games. I'm a video gamer. And I've always loved video games. And my mom knew. She knew every time I took one out. It was fun. It was all good.
It's your allowance.
But I like video games.
Yeah.
So, you know, we started this thing called Salty Nerd Gaming.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Salty Nerd Gaming channel. It's a side hustle that me and Alex are doing, and I hope Matt joins us at some point. Where we just started it this week. We actually started doing.
Dude, my first live stream was a disaster.
Yeah, I mean,
it was so bad.
All the first streams of any channel are always a disaster. I am experimenting.
Yeah.
With different things. I'm using OBS. You're using StreamYard.
I'm using StreamYard. I'm like, I don't know what else to use.
It's ridiculous. He doesn't know how to use OBS. It's really funny. And it's like, you know, we're just doing some things. I'm playing weird games. I'm playing fun games. And but we have a new channel. It's called Salty Nerd Gaming. And we're just playing
when do we go live?
Games over there.
When do we go live?
We go live when we can. Like I said, it's a side hustle.
Yeah, but you have a regular time that you do it.
I do not have.
You
a
don't?
regular
Okay,
time,
I
no.
do. Can I shout mine out?
Yeah,
then?
absolutely.
Okay.
Go.
So, the only time that I really have available that is like unbothered and I can kind of do my own thing is Saturday nights from 10 to 11 p.m. So it's a late night, kind of, especially if you're in the East Coast. But if you're on the West Coast, 11 to 10 p.m. That's when I play my favorite games, and I'm a big time like single player game. I love campaign mode. I love storylines. I love immersing myself into a story with a video game. I'm not a big MMO dude. I don't like playing online like Call of Duty and stuff like that. It's not my jam. I like to be alone. I like to be secluded, and I like to have a story be told to me through a progression of a video game. And for my first outing as a video game streamer, I guess on this channel, I chose the classic 1992 Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis click and play adventure game. It's one of my favorite games of all time. I've played it 1,500 times, but it's been a minute, so I don't remember how to play exactly. I don't remember where the story goes, but I'm kind of just. It's almost like my own little dumb protest against Indy 5. But I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go play that freaking game. Because
Fate of Atlantis.
Because honestly, it is a really good Indiana Jones story. Like the story itself is awesome. Like you got your classic Indy. You've got your classic damsel in distress. Sophia Hapgood's freaking smoke show.
Yeah.
Even though she's only 16 bits, I'm still getting horny off of her. God, I hope my wife doesn't watch that. It's a fun Indiana Jones adventure game. I love playing it, and I hope you guys can join us. We're at like what 30 subscribers on that channel?
30, 29,
30. So if all 50 some odd people join up over there,
brand new channel,
brand spanking new. We can get that.
I need all 54 people in this chat right now to go over there.
Hop over there
to Salty Nerd Gaming on YouTube and hit that sub button.
Yeah,
and that's all you got to do. It's not a big deal. You know, I'm going to be playing games. You know, Alex is the single player game. I am the guy that likes to go in and play games like, it's like, I can't play Diablo right now because I just have some personal issues.
Activision's being shitty.
Activision's being a shit bag right now. But I'm playing games like
was it Vampire Slayer or something?
Vampire Survivor.
Yeah.
Like these really interesting little indie. I'm playing a lot of indie games right now. And I just actually installed Dota 2, and Brian from over there at the popcast.com, me and him, we're going to get together and he's going to teach me how to play Dota 2. And you know, how cool is that? It's like, he's the expert and I'm the Padawan. And I think we're going to make a series of videos about him teaching me how to play Dota 2.
Oh, that'd be cool.
And those are those kind of cool, like MOBA style games. And that's kind of fun. And that'll be fun. And we're going to do a whole series of, I think we're going to do a whole series of stuff about that. And I feel like my voice is. I feel like
you're getting gravelly.
I'm getting JFK Jr. I'm getting. I can't talk.
It's Robert. It's Robert.
Robert.
You freaking
whatever.
pleb.
Yeah, whatever. But my voice is getting really gravelly.
Yeah. Real quick, guys. Real quick. We have Dustin Hogel asking, do you guys have a Salty Nerd horror section? So most of our horror reviews are just under the Salty Nerd podcast playlist. We kind of lump all those in together because we cover a wide variety of movies. But if you're into horror movies, we got a Bad Moon review coming out pretty soon. And,
yeah. We did a lot of stuff with Len Kabazinski while he's here. That's really
he's
cool.
A pretty cool dude.
He's a super cool guy. Really cool, down to earth, fun dude to hang out with.
Any dude who like greets people like going by.
Yeah,
you know, like that,
dude.
I'm like, he was okay.
He was sitting.
Like, you're pretty cool.
He was sitting in that chair right there, and I was like, "Hey, you ready to start the podcast?" And he's like, "Yes, I am."
I don't like it.
I was like, "Oh, okay. Are you gonna like summon something? What's happening?"
He sat in your chair, but I don't like any motherfucker who sits in my chair.
But Len Kabazinski,
he's like,
he sat in both your chairs. Just
like,
he sat in my chair too.
Yes, he did.
God damn it.
What's up with my voice? I don't know what's going on.
We're gonna polish this up, guys. Thank you so much for your support. It looks like we have a new fan, Dustin. Welcome, sir, to the channel. Thanks for being here. You're super active in the chat today. It was fantastic. Join up in the members area if you want more awesome content. If YouTube's not your thing, you can join up at saltnerclub.com for Patreon.
Just really quick, I am tonight after the wifey goes to bed. I'm going to be doing a stream
on gaming.
I'm going to be doing it on the gaming channel at saltynerdgaming.com. Please, everybody in the chat, go to Salty Nerd Gaming on YouTube and hit the sub button. But I'm also going to be downloading the multi-streaming app to where I can multi-stream on both YouTube and also Kick.com. To where I'm hoping to be able to do Kick and YouTube at the same time. What is so funny? And that is Kick. Kick is the new shit. Okay. Kick is the new shit.
That's the horrors website.
No, dude. No, Kick is legit. Kick is legit.
They just paid $100 million.
They just paid $100 million for XQC. And
they got Amaranth on there.
Yeah.
What?
For real.
Or she's going to be able to do her hot tub stream.
Here's the thing. Listen. Twitch.
Nobody's gonna watch you on Kick, dude.
No, they will because
Vader's gonna have his shirt off. He's gonna be eating cake and cereal.
Squirting freaking hot sauce on your nipples or something. What the hell? Kick?
No, Kick. I know. Listen, I'm losing my voice. Weird. But Kick is the shit.
Keep selling it to me, buddy.
Kick is the shit.
Let me get you some freaking whipped cream.
Twitch sucks. Fuck Twitch. I'm not doing Twitch. We're not doing Twitch on the Salty Nerd channel.
We're not.
We're going to Kick.
Okay. You can't legally multi-stream on Twitch anymore.
Twitch are asshole on Twitch. Okay. So we're gonna be doing simul streams. Once I figure out how to do it, we're going to be doing simul streams on Twitch and Kick at Salty Nerd Podcast and on YouTube at Salty Nerd Gaming. So please go to Salty Nerd Gaming and hit that follow button.
Sign up.
And I will be probably going tonight. It's going to be late Pacific time, around 10 o'clock tonight. Okay. And I'm going to be playing some games.
Cool.
So,
right on. All right, guys, we're going to polish this up. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for the super chats. Really appreciate it. Stay tuned. We have a lot of stuff coming out this week. We have a couple of reviews with Len Kabazinski coming out. We're going to be having
it's the finale of Warrior season 2.
Oh, that's right.
Then we got a review of The Hunted with Len Kabazinski.
And then Warrior season 3 is coming out pretty soon. It's going to drop on June 29th. Please go check out Warrior on Max. It's on the old HBO app. Now it's called Max. Go check it out because it's a fantastic show. It's probably the best show on TV right now. It's the best. It's the most amazing show on TV. We're reviewing that. And we're covering season 3 as it comes out. So, last thing, go ahead. What's up?
I seem to remember you and me filming a thing. Then Kevin,
we did do a fight
where
scene.
It's like where me and Alex beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah.
And when is that coming out, Matthew?
So that's going to come out around the same time our premiere coverage of season 3.
Nice, June 29th.
It's like I'm all like.
Yeah, he's like the brawler, and I've got my stance. I don't know.
He's all like Mr. Young June.
Oh, let's go. All right, guys. Stay salty. We'll see you next week. Thank you.